What a solid Monday here at the Vans US Open of Surfing to kick off a massive week with great waves on offer. Thank you, Surfline, for our forecast. It all came true today. Warm water, pumping waves to kick off some of the early round action of the QS 10,000. Thanks for joining us on the post show. Joe Turpel alongside Strider, Raspberry, Wasilewski, Rosy Hodge. Guys, we've been kind of on this little wave magical run coming from Jeffreys Bay, bringing the magic here to Huntington Beach. A day like today is sometimes hard to come by, and good news is it's just getting started. It's only Monday, and surf's getting better and better all week, Waz.
We're getting fired up. I'm pretty excited. We just had the big wave happen down in Puerto Escondido. Kai Lenny, congratulations. That swell's on its way up here as well, Rosie. I mean, you can't ask for much more.
Well, what a way to kick things off. I think the motivation for the surfers to hit the water, seeing the swell at dawn and just being able to mow through those rounds and see some impressive performances. And like Strider mentions, more swell on the way.
Great things happening in such a big way. We got into that second round, round of 96. That's that high-seeded round where there's a lot of expectations on the top 34. 22 of the top 34 in the draw here for the U.S. Open. That was awesome. And one of the big headliners, Kolohe Andino, a guy that's finaled here in the past, really made the message clear today that he's here to only do one thing and maybe take his first U.S. Open title. Strider, it is early, but looking back to his performance today, he didn't make any mistakes.
He didn't, and you know what? You could tell before he paddled out that he meant business. And when he got into the lineup, look how clean it was, but really hard to negotiate these conditions no matter who you are. But he surfed out here better than anybody that we saw all day.
Also in the matchup, Hiroto Ohara looking nice and groomed. It was really fun to see these guys with experience making finals in the past of the U.S. Open. So comfortable in the round of 96, Ro.
Yeah, that level of comfort that they bring into this event, not wearing any pressure coming into these QS 10,000s, and that's where it's dangerous, is when you're freeing up your surfing, you get to display your best. But Alex Ribeiro also threw down some massive airs in that heat. So good action to watch. You're
also seeing how stacked these QS heats are already at the round of 96 level. Vasco Ribeiro, huge name, former world junior champ, out already in round 2, heat 1. Ribeiro, former rookie on tour, out already in these kind of conditions where he's expected to do well. And Andino, throwaway 6s. He had another 7 he was tossing. But there's something about Kolohe when he shows up at the QS these days where he can beat people before they paddle out. He has that kind of CT Championship Tour confidence these days, surfing like a seasoned vet now.
Yeah, you know, when he was walking out into the water, you could see the confidence was there. And this is his forte. I mean, beach break conditions in California, he really has a knack for high-performance surfing in these kind of waves. But he really pushed it to the next level. You know, the backside inverted tail whip where he was upside down looking back into the bowl and slamming it home. Like, that kind of surfing only happens when you are at the top level of confidence in your own mind. You know, kind of beating the odds, so to speak.
And almost for us, we love the performance, Rosie, but you could tell when he came in, he wanted a little bit more out of himself.
Well, we mentioned his scoring potential that he had on his rides. It's interesting to note he didn't have the highest wave of that heat. It actually went to Hiroto Ohara with that, 8.4. So, you know, he, I think, battles himself, too, to bring that performance. He said he wanted to go for big airs. We saw a couple of those air reverses that he got done. But, yeah, I think he's still got more to give. He's got that aura about him.
So, great highlight reel from Kolohe Andino. But we did just finish the last heat of the afternoon. Victor Bernardo taking top honors, and he's downstairs with Chelsea.
Yeah, Joe, Victor, we were just talking about how having the last heat of the day can sort of be a blessing and a curse. You've been here since 6 a.m., so you got to see all the heats ahead of you, and then you had to finish off the day. How were you able to focus after everything you saw, and could you use any of the intel that you got from the previous heats to help you?
I got here like super early, and I should have went home, but you know, like on the QS 10,000, there's so many good heats, all like a bunch of CT surfers, and I got to compete with one of those, and I was so happy to make it. And yeah, I'm kind of tired because I've been here all day. I saw a lot of good heats. I got a lot of people making mistakes, so like it's good to watch it and like add advice for you. So yeah, I just stayed at the beach and just cruised.
So starting at 6 a.m., but getting in the water in the late afternoon, and then the current, which was exhausting. You managed to make it look fairly easy, but you said you were pretty tired. So how were you able to keep your energy up and pull off that win?
It's super hard out there. The current's like crazy, throwing you off like onto the pier. I managed to make it out there by the other side of the pier. I thought it was easier, and yeah, I'm really happy to make it. And I just hope to make a couple more, and maybe, I don't know, get to the final.
Hey, that sounds like a good plan. You're off to a good start, and you're gonna have a great sleep tonight. Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Chelsea. Victor Bernardo doing a great job to take the win in the last heat of the afternoon and getting a spot into the round of 48. Super talent from Brazil. He's actually spent a lot of time in California, staying with the Marshall family, Jake, Nick, Connor, down there in Seaside and Encinitas. So he kind of feels like California's turned into his second home. He's got a bright future ahead of himself, and he kind of has a great balance of progressive maneuvers out here at Huntington, along with his power that could really go a long way, Strider. What'd you like about his performance?
Well, I think you nailed it with the balance of the two, right? Because he's got a crazy air game. I've seen that guy stomp massive airs, and he's got a nice, solid power game. So, I mean, in his first wave, he came out and he hit a falling lip that should have just swatted him out of the air, and he actually stayed connected to his board and rode out of it. You know, he got, I think it was a 614. So, for one turn, that's a big score. And if he can do that continually through the rounds and then show the air game and the technical abilities above the lip, that kid could be unstoppable.
Another heat that was just mind-blowing, even before it started. Just on paper with track record history was the heat with Alejo Muniz. He was the one that beat Kolohe to take a win here at the U.S. Open. He also had Kanoa Igarashi, the hometown hero, representing HB on the top 34. And then William Cardoso, Tanner Hendrickson. Those guys have all been in finals out here in the past, all looking for just 2 spots into the round of 48. And we saw Alejo and Kanoa Igarashi get the top 2 spots, Rosie. How'd they get it done?
Well, so great to see Alejo Muniz, marching on through. Obviously, he's been a World Tour campaigner and then had a couple injuries, so he hasn't been on that World Tour stage. But just good to see him back himself up in some strong performances. Looking at
Kanoa's season so far on tour, Strider, it's been a rough one. He's had round 2 losses, something he didn't experience in his rookie year. Does he look different here in Huntington, now performing in front of his hometown crowd?
He looks super confident. I think Alejo kind of overshined him a little bit, though, with his speed and his flow, I think. But maybe Kanoa's just kind of pulled back a little bit to not show all of his cards up front, just to let that leak out at the end there. They both surfed really well. Unfortunately, Tanner Henderson, the wheels fell off, and Cardoso just never really got the waves he needed to get lit up out there. But those other 2 surfers really, really look good out there. I mean, I really like Kanoa. I really love the way he's been surfing, and he does look a lot more confident here.
It's amazing how young Kanoa Igarashi still is, and he's had a lot of opportunities here. In the past, Rosie, you remember him as a wild card out here, where he kind of takes on that home court role, where it looks like he's trying to protect something, dreaming of doing the simple, of winning a title out here in front of the fans. And sometimes just a big win on your hometown crowd could maybe save the back half of the year on the championship tour for Kanoa.
Oh, well, a win, a QS 10,000 going into the back half of the year, that projection in the rankings and the confidence boost that it can give you is just astronomical. So I think Kanoa, he's going to want to hold it all together and make that final series, because it is a lot of pressure having that home court advantage. So let's just see if he uses that energy to his advantage.
Another great performance we saw today was none other than a fiery Frenchman named Jeremy Flores. Oh my goodness, do we love to hear him talk about surfing, what he does in the lineup. He just separates himself from the pack. He said, preparing for this heat, he decided not to surf. He'll save it for the lineup, and he turned in the best start of the day with a 917 Strider. Incredible opener.
Yeah. Hey, pushing really hard and just moving the board around. Looked really fired up. And I think, sometimes not surfing, you come out and you do your best surfing on your first wave.
Amazing to see him just come out strong. He waited patiently and then decided to back up that 917, Rosie, about 10 minutes later, and still had a lot of fire.
Well, he played the game so well. Came out with a 917. Then you mentioned him just controlling the lineup, using his priority and backing it right up with a 7+ range. score. So Jeremy Flores just shutting that door, but also good to see Davey Cathles from North Narrabeen really putting on a highlight reel for us.
I just love the word combo. I mean, sometimes you can be comboed in heat. That's not the fun part, but the fun part is just the variety of different combinations. Davey Cathles, one of my favorite. That 8.0 we saw earlier, blowtail out the back, frontside stock air on the inside, like he's filming a video part. Cathles just under Jeremy Flores. That was an exciting heat. Just like the theme of the round of 96, losing Dion Atkinson, a guy that's won the Australian Open before, and also Timothy Bissell, this up-and-coming, super powerful goofy foot. That was a surprise for me, seeing him go down so early, Strider.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for these guys, you know, to be so excited about an event, but, you know, third and fourth, you're going to go home, and it's just part of the axe that comes down in between those two, and it's going to happen. You got to just take your loss and go back to the drawing board, but there's not a lot of events like this out there, right? So you miss that opportunity. It's a huge miss.
It's fun just to catch up with a guy that's on fire, especially with a big name like Jeremy Flores. When he was brought with the idea of winning this event, you could see his whole mind trying to wrap around it, the heroes that he's won in the past. Jeremy does want to win this contest, and he wants to do it in his own way. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, I think it sparked some interest for him, getting that big score and just the potential to win this contest, and knowing that he'd be up there with the names of Andy Irons, Kelly Slater, Rob Machado. That kind of piqued his interest.
Well, we saw a lot today, but we're still really just getting started. Tomorrow morning, we're going to see the top 17 in the world kick off things for us. Tomorrow, 7:30 start. We're seeing round one action. Now we're getting back into the whole world title race. Tyler Wright, world #1, hitting the lineup tomorrow with a pretty good-looking forecast, Strider.
Yeah, not to mention Courtney coming off a win down in Oceanside. Sage making the final. Everybody just fired up. The waves are going to be better. The action's going to be better. I can't wait.
When you look at the top 17, Rosie, you go back and you go, well, there's about 9 of them that can say they've won the U.S. Open before. This one is one of those hard ones to predict a champion.
Oh, definitely, especially with the swell forecast. I think it's anyone's game. We've had a bit of time off from Fiji. We'll see who comes out guns blazing in round one.
Obviously, Courtney Conlogue, home court advantage right here on the south side of Huntington Piers, won this event at a very young age. So we'll be here opening things up at 7:30 tomorrow for that official call with women's round 1 and 2, followed by men's round 2 action. We'll see you bright and early. Take care.